Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Boom Boom Room. I have a very, very special guest.
Yes.
I'm excited. This is one of the few ones that I've gotten excited about.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I don't get too excited about interviews, but this one I am excited about.
I know you
are.
For
a few reasons. Not only because our next guest is a pioneer in her industry, and I was out there in L.A. I just moved out when she was on the climb and making big noises. And I actually went to try to go see them, her and her group, but I didn't get a chance to. I used to bounce around on Sunset Boulevard,
I know.
a couple places, and I didn't get a chance to see them. I tried to a few times because I was a big fan. But not only of the band and the music, but they were kicking ass up there, and where they looked, they were great. Knockout looking girls, come on now. And anyhow, but very special guest playing at the Youngstown Amphitheater along with the Vindies. The Vindies will be opening for her on May 31st. It's a big fundraiser for the Rich Center. And great organization. And so she'll be here in Youngstown at the end of the month. But with no further ado, my very special guest, Lita Ford.
Hey,
Lita, how are you?
Hi. Thank you for that wonderul welcome.
Well, I mean, you are a pioneer. Not only were you one of the original members of the Runaways, but you went solo. And at that time, correct me, we've talked about this. Me and Cornell, when we knew we were going to have you on, we were talking about this. Not many young girls were playing guitars back then. If they were playing at all, if they were usually piano or something else. But you started when did you start playing the guitar? How old were you?
I was 11 years old when I got my first guitar. Which, I mean, now in this day and age, 11 years old is kind of old.
Yes. Yes.
To be playing guitar, but I started, my parents bought me a guitar as a Christmas present. I asked them for it. I wanted one, and they bought it for me. It was like a cheap Sears, $12 thing that came in a box, but I made it sound good. I figured it out, and I learned all my favorite riffs on it, and then, of course, I traded it in for a Gibson SG later down the road. But I don't know, it freaked people out. They were always asking me, honestly, I mean, people would come over and they would say, well, how come you can do that?
Yeah.
And I would be like, well, I don't know. How come you can't?
Yeah. Well, see, that was easy for you, right? It's funny because when I was out, I had an older brother. He was learning guitar, and I was learning the drums. I was like 8 years old. I quit playing drums because I wanted to learn songs. I didn't realize you don't learn songs on drums. You're the background guy. I wanted to learn how to play songs, and it's just always amazing me when guys are guitar players. My brother and me are 5 years apart. So me and my brother was listening to Jimmy when Jimmy was Jimmy, and then it was growing up, there's Jimmy Skinner. Allman Brothers and all those guys that were playing it. And of course, listening to Clapton, Jeff Beck, growing up. And you listen, you hear most of these bands were guitar driven, led by, the guitar solos and the riffs. I didn't hear, for you guys, when you first came out with the Runaways and you were on that guitar, you were just kicking ass with it. Like, oh, this is something different. Because again, a young woman like yourself rocking it out like that, kicking ass like that, didn't see it at that time. We didn't see that before.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there wasn't too many of us, and it just never really put it all together. And I just thought, well, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And then everyone kept saying, "Oh, girls don't do that," and I just thought, "Well, I do." So, I mean, I don't know. You want to argue about it? Because, yeah, I do.
I remember when the Runaways played the Old Tomorrow Club in downtown Youngstown.
Oh, I didn't know they played Youngstown.
Oh, and do you remember that, Lita, by any chance? A place?
Vaguely, yeah.
And you just absolutely lit up the place. And the hype about being a female band was one thing, but you guys were a bona fide, hardcore rock band that was in everybody's face, and there was sweat in the building, and it was just so much fun back in those days.
Yeah. We used to pack the place, because there were smaller venues.
Yeah.
And low ceilings, small venues, and we would pack them full of sweaty punk rockers.
That's
and,
true.
The condensation used to drip off the ceiling.
Off the ceiling. Off the ceiling. You know it's hot. That's a hot joint when it's off the ceiling. Jesus, man.
Lita, one question I always had for you. You picked up the guitar at 11 and you were in the Runaways at 16. I mean, that is a tremendous transformation to be in a touring band at the age of 16, 17 years old. You must have just grabbed a hold of that guitar and were playing it 24/7 in your room.
Yeah, I did. I played it 24/7, and I played it 24/7 for many years to follow after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I love to play. I don't always play as much now at home, but because, there's so much other stuff happening, a lot of things, a lot of travel and business and life kind of gets in the way sometimes. But yeah, I mean, as a young teenage girl, I just hung out with the musicians, and I wasn't interested in anything else. I really wasn't interested in sports, or some young people are interested in football or cheerleading, or it wasn't for me. I was just like, just give me a guitar and give me a place to play it, and I don't care about anything else. I used to. My parents moved to this really nice part of town, and they bought this house, and they wanted me to go to this really great school, and I went for 2 weeks to school, and I came home and I said, Mom, Dad, I can't go to that school. And they said, well, what's wrong with it? Why can't you go there? And I said, but I don't fit in. It's all football players and cheerleaders, and I want to be with the musicians. And so my mother said to me, well, where do you want to go to school? And this was high school.
Yes.
So I said, I want to go to Long Beach Poly. And Long Beach Polytechnic.
Yeah.
And for those of you who know Long Beach Polytechnic High, it's known for, it's got a bit of a bad reputation because it's in a hard part of town.
Yeah. It's in the hood.
It's behind bars. You got to have ID to get there.
Yeah.
And you got to take the bus. And my mother says, well, you're going to have to take the bus. And I thought, I can do that. I'm good with the bus. So I went to Long Beach Polytechnic because I wanted to be with the musicians.
Yeah.
And we used to jam every day. I don't know that we made our classes on time, but we were always finding places to jam, parks and people's backyards.
Well,
and mine was one of them.
Well, Cornell, just so you know, Long Beach Poly is known for putting out athletes and entertainers. A lot of actors, actresses,
very creative place,
musicians.
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg went there.
Yeah,
later on, and a couple actors and actresses.
Yeah,
and but Lita went. I didn't. You went to Long Beach Poly. That would have been interesting back then. That would have been an interesting time.
Yeah, I was the only white girl in school.
I was just gonna say, but you said it now. Well, you know who else went there? Cameron Diaz went there also.
Okay,
she was after you.
Oh yeah, Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. She's because me and you are contemporaries, and Cameron's a little younger than me. But let me ask you something. This is I found fascinating. Richie Blackmore of Deep Purple was your big inspiration on the way up. I remember listening. I was going to say my brother used to listen to all that. He used to have Deep Purple on all the time, man, and I remember listening to them. So, how did that sound? I mean, that's some heavy that's some heavy rock there. How did that sound?
Well, I was just always gravitating towards riff rock.
Yeah,
so to speak. And I loved the Deep Purple riffs. They had some badass riffs. And of course, Black Sabbath, they were really riffy, to say the least. And I just loved, all those guitar parts. Led Zeppelin were very, very riffy also.
Mm-hmm.
But I got bored with Led Zeppelin because there was so much, they were everywhere. And I got a little bored with them. I know it sounds dumb, but how do you get bored with Led Zeppelin?
No.
But I've learned all the parts and played all their music, and then and Jimmy Page was amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are the monsters of rock, you know. Michael Schenker, Ritchie Blackmore, Tony Iommi, they are the monsters of rock.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the title Queen of Metal?
Well, it's good to be the queen of something.
I was going to say, there you go.
I applaud you.
I mean, just the queen. But I don't feel, I mean, I can play metal, no problem, but I feel that my musical genre or my musical talents are a little bit wider than just metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I can do multiple things on guitar, and I like to just say the queen of rock.
Rock
works for me.
Yeah,
rock. That's
I like that.
Cornell. Ask Cornell when we were looking. I said the queen of heavy metal. I said I know more of a rocker than heavy metal. I mean, and that's when you came out. That's what I remembered you as. And so let me ask you, Lita. So go back. Let me go back a little bit. So you were born in London, England, not London. You were born in England.
Well, I was actually born in London.
Right.
I'm a Brit.
Right.
Until 2020, and then I became dual
citizen.
I lived here pretty much my whole life, but John F. Kennedy gave my mother and father the approval to enter the country, and I believe it was 64, because I was 4 years old.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
And so, my mother was from Rome, and my father was British, retired from World War II, and they wanted to come to America and become American citizens. And so John F. Kennedy put it in writing. I still have the letter somewhere, from John F. Kennedy. So we came over. We entered into Boston. My mother had a sister who lived there, but she hated the snow, so we didn't stay there long. And made our way to California.
Wow. Now, in your household, did your mother speak Italian to you, or did she speak English?
Lots of Italian.
Yeah, you spoke.
Lots of Italian. I mean, my father loved the Italian culture so much. They listened to Pavarotti. They made pasta. I mean, it was a full blown, the lasagna.
Oh, beautiful!
You got to stop to Ray's house when you come into town, man. Beautiful. There you go.
Oh, that's it. My bride is a great, wonderful cook. But so now. So you're known as the queen of, I said the queen of rock. Let's just say the queen of heavy metal. I don't know, man. I don't get that. But so now when they did the movie, The Runaways, how much were you personally involved with that?
I felt that the Runaways movie was all about Joan, and the stories that they told about Joan were just not accurate. Mm-hmm. They really made her to look larger than life. And, I just didn't agree with any of it. I love Scout Taylor Compton. I thought she did a fantastic job playing Lita, and that she's a really great person and great actress. And I love that they picked Scout for that role. And Scout had reached out to me multiple times, Lita, help me with this and help me with that. And then, of course, they had Kristen Stewart playing Joan Jett. And Kristen Stewart is not one of my favorite people, and so neither is Joan Jett. So, and the movie is just kind of, for me, in my book, I glanced over it when it first came out and just thought, okay, I've seen it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see it again.
Right.
One of those things in my life, maybe other people love it, but.
No. Well, a lot of people don't know it. That's why, obviously. But like you said, you lived it, so it's not. I get it.
It's got to be rough to seeing something like that on the screen, and damn well that didn't happen that way. That just pisses me off. I mean, it has to.
Yeah, it does.
Has to work on you, man, because the real story. There's a great blues song, "The Three Sides of the Story: Yours, Mine, and the Truth."
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I would have done it different, but Maybe I will one day.
Well, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood. It's making movies. It's just they're trying to make them for the even if they have to, sugarcoat it, make it more vanilla.
Yeah.
It's for the broader audience.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll listen to Lita Ford, who will be opening in Youngstown. The Youngstown Amphitheater. She'll be playing there with the Vin Diesel will be opening for Lita at the Youngstown Amphitheater. A fundraiser on May 31st for the Rich Center.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. It's a great organization, the Rich Center. They do a wonderful job. So, Lita, coming to Youngstown, we're excited about that because, every time we get somebody of your stature coming through, it only takes us to another level.
Yes,
and you're
that's true.
definitely doing that with us.
True.
But
Thank you.
Now, Lita, let me ask you something. Where have all the guitar players gone? I remember, I was telling Cornell, I remember in the 80s, when I first moved to L.A., I moved to L.A. in 85, right? That's when that British sound was coming, when everything was synthesizers and the British, it was like, it was cotton candy for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then, but now it seems then when it got to alternative, I kind of dug the alternative sound. I like, I love Soundgarden. I loved Chris Cornell's voice. Of course you get into, to the big bands of that,
the
Pearl
grunge.
Jam and stuff.
Yeah.
What they call it, grunge, man.
Yeah.
I kind of dug it. It was just different. It was alternative for me. But where have all the great guitar players gone?
Yeah, I don't know. The grunge scene wasn't that far away from the rock scene.
No.
That you couldn't listen to it. It was, of course, rap is a whole different story.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do love some rap, but and then again, I kind of love everything.
Yeah.
But the grunge scene had some badass stuff like Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell. As a matter of fact, I use Jerry Cantrell wah wah that I think just kills. I love it. It's so, he has that Alice in Chainsy kind of vibe.
Yeah.
When you use it. But I don't know. People get old and
What has
people
happened?
get rich
Yeah.
and they retire and the road is tough and people don't want to be on the road anymore. So they start to do other things. I know Blackmore just, I think he's pretty much retired. I know Iommi just did the final show for Black Sabbath. Yeah, so what else do you need? Pocket a few,
I even look at top
$40.
40, top 40 radio though, Lita. You put on a top 40 radio station and back in the day you heard some kind of guitar riffs. You can put on a top 40 station now, a hit radio station and play it for an hour and you never even hear one guitar riff.
I know. It's the whole world has gone just sort of neutral. A lot of the highs and lows are wiped out, and what's left is just kind of all crammed in the middle. A lot of digital artists out there.
Yeah, that's a good
Some
way
of
of
them are
putting
great, and some of them are just like, I don't know who that is, But there's still people that love the old-fashioned riff rock. Not all of us are dead and gone. And then there's a whole new generation of youngsters coming up that love riff rock, whose parents are teaching them right.
Yeah.
And teaching them how to play an instrument, drums or guitar, or be a lead singer. And I got to think it's probably tough in this day and age, but they're out there and they're still there and they still love us. And you got to just think ahead and hope and cater to that new generation.
Yeah.
Because we're not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not ready to hang up my guitars yet.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Now, Lita,
This is it. We're healthy. We're strong.
yeah, thank God.
Let's do this.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, Lita, tell us about your current band. And have you been with each other for a while?
Yeah. I've got a great current band. Mr. Bobby Rock on drums. I don't know, for those of you who know Bobby has been with me for, well over 10 years. And he is a devoted vegan. He is a full-blown athlete and a new dad.
Oh, God bless.
Just
nice.
moved to Kansas City, Missouri, out of California, and has a beautiful woman in his life, the mother of his child. They're going to do a wedding soon. I know it. But they're the most gorgeous family, and Bobby is a monster on the drums. And, he's just part of our team. He's the dog's, the dog that leads the sled. Yeah. And I guess we're the dogs when you're thinking about Eskimos. He's the one back there cracking the whip.
Yeah.
And then we have Patrick Kennison on guitar, and Patrick sings his ass off and plays his ass off, and it's what he does best. This is what we do best. We're musicians, and we do it best together as a team. And Martin Anderson on bass, and Martin is this gorgeous, 6'4" Swedish, Stockholm, Sweden badass on bass.
Oh man!
And the girls love him.
Yeah.
And he just plays his ass off. And in a 75 to 1 hour and a half minute set, we have fun. Everything is spontaneous. We change the set as we go. And I'm like, no. Martin, play the audience something on bass. And let them hear this bass. And Martin's like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm doing this. And, and then we'll introduce Bobby, and we introduce Patrick, and then it's a lot of things, a lot of music that we pull the audience in with us.
Yeah.
And parents that want to bring their kids, it's educational for the kids too.
So this is going to be a busy summer and fall. You're touring through the whole United States, correct? You're going to be bouncing all over?
We're all over, yeah. We're including Europe.
Okay. Oh, beautiful, yeah. Beautiful. You're going to go back to England, I'm sure. You got to be.
Yeah. We got an offer in today for Belarus, and I'm like, where the hell is Belarus?
Yeah, Belarus. Yes.
And so I had to. Yeah. I had to Google it. It's way up by Russia.
Yeah, it's
on the other side of Poland or something.
It was once part of the UK. I mean, not UK. I'm sorry, not USSR. It was part of that. And then when they all broke off, when it broke off, it's its own country again, Belarus. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but
see, I love that. Yeah. I'm excited to go to all these places, and of course, on the 31st, we'll be in one of my favorite places in the whole wide world.
Oh yeah, Youngstown. White Town is my town. Yeah.
Yeah, good memories.
But do you still enjoy do you still enjoy the grind, doing the one night shows and bouncing to the next town? You still enjoy
love it? Yeah, we love it. We love it. And the only thing I hate is probably the airlines.
Yeah.
They've changed over the years. And
my goodness! Did you sum that? Did you sum that up in a nutshell?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? And they're expensive.
Yeah, that's
so
for sure.
I don't know. You got to get from point A to point B. We don't have our own plane.
No.
But we do drive a lot when we can.
Where do you go?
So all good.
Yeah.
It's what we do. It's who we are. Rock and roll is our life. Rock and roll is our religion. Yeah. I guess I could say.
Lita Ford, you're an absolute angel. And man, oh man, we are so looking forward to having you come to town. And once again, the date is May 31st, Youngstown Amphitheater, the big fundraiser for the Rich Center, who raises money for autism in this town. And I can't say enough about the organization. And tickets are on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com.
And go get them tickets, man. Go get them tickets. You got to see Lita Ford. When are you going to get a chance to see Lita Ford in Youngstown?
Right. And she'll be looking fine.
Yeah.
You know she's going to be looking fine.
Because she's the queen. Yeah. The queen.
Yeah, the queen, baby.
Queen will be coming
to be the queen.
Yes. Lita, I can't thank you enough. So I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. And anything we can do for the charity, autism, and, we'll be addressing that once it gets closer to the 31st.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Lita, safe travels, man.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Lita Ford.
Have a good day.
Thank you, too. Take care.
Bye.
Youngstown, are you ready to rock?
Oh, yeah.
Lita Ford, the legendary queen of metal, is bringing her hard-hitting, high-energy show to the Youngstown Foundation Amphitheater for Rock the Rich Center on May 31st. And she's not coming alone. Special guest, Youngstown's own The Vindies will tear up the stage for one unforgettable night. This isn't just a concert, it's a con. Rock out while supporting the Rich Center for Autism. Lita Ford, The Vindies. Two iconic acts, one epic night, and a chance to make a difference. Lita Ford and The Vindies. May 31st at the Youngstown Foundation Amphitheater. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more info and sponsorships, visit RockTheRichCenter.com.